All right, ladies and gentlemen, continuing our analysis, if you will, of the situation with the Jordanian pilot and the video and our response, Jordan's response, how they differ, what we should be doing. We now welcome in Jonathan T. Gilliam, former Navy SEAL and FBI agent and president of United States Continued Service. The trademark company come after you for United States Continued? I'm kidding.
No, absolutely not. Maybe they will now.
Good to see you, man. All right, so all right. I've said this a million times, and I can't take it anymore. We have a dispassionate president. He couldn't care. People say he's too cool. No, I don't think he cares. I just don't think what he saw. What happens if the female hostage that they have, American that they have, God forbid, I don't want to give them ideas. What if they put her in a cage with a lion? What's Obama going to do then? Say, well, the organization, this is another example of the organization.
Right.
I mean, what the heck is going on here?
I just don't know how many times we have to have these things happen before they say, well, this is just a sign. Well, now we have a sign of how the way that these individuals work. I mean, we know we've been dealing with this since 1979. It was when Iran took over our embassy and held, I can't remember how many people hostage for a long time.
444 days.
440.
Yeah.
So it's fundamental Islamic Mohammedanism. I said that 1,000 times. And then you have Democratic representatives and senators come on and say that, and the president himself talk about how this is not religious, that this is this group or this is that group, we're going to fight this group, we're going to fight that group. And so the reaction every time is the same. It's like, it's almost as though he saw something in a movie and he's talking about that as though it's not real.
Right. But here's the thing, and I alluded to this earlier, and I just thought of it today. A Muslim was burned to death in that cage. I presume he was a Muslim. Let's work under that premise.
That's what's being reported.
Yeah. Okay, so he's a Muslim. This was Obama's opportunity to say, you know, here we have an example of how Muslims are being targeted by these people. Here we have an example of a good Muslim who was in our coalition, who was trying to fight evil. And now, now you're going to see us react. Nothing. It's like it could be the rabbis in Jerusalem, the Muslim in the cage with the fire, the beheading of the Japanese. Everybody's the same. Doesn't matter.
You can compare and contrast his reaction to that of the King of Jordan.
Yeah.
Just like you could compare and contrast Putin's responses to anything that the Obama administration says. Nobody takes our foreign policy seriously, and I don't think that those in the office right now are on the level of being in charge of the executive branch of the government. And people have to remember, they're in charge of an entire branch, one-third of the government.
Absolutely. All right, I asked Mike Baker this just before. Let me ask you covertly, or from your point of view as a what you did as a former SEAL. What could we do? How could we infiltrate? Could we get in there? Could we do damage like Israel with the killing the scientists or blowing up this facility? I mean, could we do that?
We not only could we do that, but we should be doing a lot more. I mean, we constantly hear, even on the Republican side, about leading a coalition of boots on the ground. Well, we're not leading anything. We're just doing some airstrikes.
Right.
The fact is, we need to be sitting down with people like Jordan, any of the other groups around there that are interested in being involved
Saudi
with this.
Arabia,
France,
Jordan,
Australia,
Egypt,
all these different groups coming up with a plan to literally just get rid of this movement completely off the face of the earth and then go after it. Until we do that and we recognize the fact that we're dealing with basically a tree that has spread its roots all over the world, we're just going to continue to pick leaves off of this tree.
Well, is that containing or whatever the heck Obama uses? He doesn't say destroy.
He says
degrade
and destroy.
So he's only interested in apparently degrading.
It's only degrade and destroy certain groups. Like he goes after ISIS or he goes after Iraq
right, not
and
the
Yemen.
whole, you're talking about the whole Islamic terror network.
He's not done any of that. He hasn't got rid of Yemen and Al-Qaeda in Yemen or ISIS in Syria or Iraq.
In fact, in Yemen, we're supporting Iran, who overthrew the Yemeni government.
It is a complete failure, and I just will go out on a limb and say this. If we don't get our act together soon, we're not just going to start to be seeing these one-off hostages being killed. We're going to start seeing massive amounts of strikes all over the place eventually. It may take another year, it may take 5 years. Yeah. That's eventually what's going to happen if we don't stop it now.
I couldn't agree with you more. To be honest with you, I never understood in the immediate aftermath of 9/11. I think we were all bracing for what's happening tomorrow? Where
But
are they going to be tomorrow? But now,
You see how long they take,
yeah,
though,
they
and
pick
it may
their-
take
they
10
pick
years.
their spots. Yep.
And I'm telling you, from a guy who's been on the ground, a guy who knows what he's talking about. I'm not a general. I'm not an executive. I'm a guy who's been on the
Right,
ground.
right.
I'm telling you right now, their movement is going forward.
Great seeing you, my friend, as
Always
always.
good to be
All
here.
right, the one and only Jonathan T. Gilliam, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back with Tennessee Congresswoman Diane Black after the break. But first, let's take a look at the end of the national prohibition of alcohol in America with this hour's American Moment. It's coming up next, right here on the Steve Malzberg Show. And, of course, that's only on Newsmax Television. Don't you go away.